Hey folks, I hope you're all doing great. This is a wee demo of a project I finished. This is not a tutorial, this is just a demonstration of what I've done. So first thing, I basically downloaded this pack for free on the Epic Games marketplace. It's like a village, an advanced village pack. So you start off as an observer floating through the air. There's no character and there's no sounds. So first thing I had to do was build the character. So here's a blueprint, character blueprint here, and I've made all the blueprints for forwards, backwards, up, down, etc. And then also, thanks to the wonderful tutorials of Matt Aspland, I've set up a footstep implement here without having to use animations or meshes. And then also we have like the switch materials footsteps. So this has been really useful in changing the footstep sound whenever he goes over the jetty here. So I'm just going to press play and show you my little world I've made. Okay, so welcome to the village. So we've got a nice ambience, wee bit of wind. You hear the birds. You hear the windmill here. And specialising is if I turn away from it behind me. Come over to this lovely well and hear it trickling in the back. A few randomised drips. And I can walk around. Got this little fish cooking, a little sizzly. Come over to there and you can. So let's go over here now. Let's go to the lake. So we'll come to the lake. And here as a footstep sounds change. A little creek. You hear the fishes and the frogs. It's suddenly daytime. Okay. And then as I walk through the forest here, you can hear the ambience changes. So there's a lot more birds, a lot of rustling in the trees. You've got the sound of eagles. And a little less wind, so it's a bit more relaxing. So I spent a lot of time first in Ableton making my loops and just getting really nice sounds and making loops for my sound cues. And then if we come over this way, I've made a little house. So I actually used the so I built this little house here. So I've actually built this myself. And as you see, you can come over to the house and you can hear them playing some music. And I've used a low pass filter with that because obviously to make it sound more realistic, because obviously the high frequencies don't make it through the walls. So it actually kind of sounds like there's people having a little jam. And as well, I've made sure that that's every time you come away and back in to the house, it doesn't just start the track again, it's continuing to play in the background at all times. So yeah, that's my wonderful world that I've made. Okay, so one of my main problems with this was basically, I'm just zooming out so you can see the level from above, is that here's the little village, and getting my village sound cue with the object attenuation here was easy, because it's like a circle and you get a spherical attenuation. So, and the same with the lake, so I could just pop an object attenuation here in the shape of a sphere, and it fits quite perfectly. As you move into the sphere, it fades into the sound cue that you've made. And the same with the village, same with this little house and the well and the windmill sound. But then I had the problem of all these trees. When I was in the forest, how was I going to do that? And I didn't have a clue. So I basically just for days was trying to figure this out on forums, and I was even learning everything about spline tracing which would have been great to make irregular shapes, but it just wasn't. It wasn't the perfect solution. So the way I dealt with it is I go to my environment here, and I've got trees. So I could come to my tree blueprint, and there was like a kind of global blueprint for trees. So I can go edit blueprint tree. So this is the blueprint for the tree. If I come to the viewport here, just going to zoom out a bit. So there's my tree. So all I've done is actually added my object attenuation to the global blueprint. So now when I come back here, if I just click on a tree, every single one of these trees has that attenuation there. So then I attach my sound cue to the attenuation. So every time you're close to a tree, that sound cue appears. And it fixed it completely. And every time I was near the forests or in the trees, and for example, if I come to this gap here, this little gap there in the trees, there was slightly less of the noise, and it just was perfectly customized to what I was doing, which is fantastic, and a complete fix. So I'm just going to show you my sound cues here. So Advanced Village Pack, there we go, and then I go sound cues. So here we got the so there's the tree here. So I can come to my tree sound cue. So if we zoom in a bit, we've got all the birds from spring, and that gets randomized. And then this is very important. This took me a little while to find out how to do this as well. So this basically what that does is that because it basically makes it do another bird sound after it's done one. So if I press play, once that's finished, it will move on to the next one. Before, without this, it would just stop. So you needed that for that. And then of course the looping as well. So then I've got some bird one shots, and that goes into a delay modulator. This is one of these things again, and that's really cool. And then I have the wind here of the leaves, the rustling and winds of the leaves. That's just, so basically what I've done here is basically never gonna sound like it's looping. It's just constantly sounds regenerating, and just never sounds like it's repeating the same thing. And it's the same with all the cues I made. So I've got the fish cue here. There's my lovely fish cue. Nice little sizzle. Yeah. What other cues do I have? A little splash cue. So this is the the frogs. Got all the frogs. My frog cue. So another thing was in Ableton, I made sure everything was rendered out perfectly, so it was all the same level, and everything like that. So I hope you enjoyed my demo, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for your time. See you.